Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a great day. It's good to see you. I appreciate the really warm response that I received from a lot of people. Obviously, it's not 100% anytime you talk about anything, which I fully expect that on this channel. But it's today, like I said, I had a couple minutes, just wanted to chime in on some things that are on my mind. I appreciate all the wonderful comments on the first video. Once again, I encourage you, if there's anything you want me to talk about, please put it down in the comments below. Today, I want to kind of dig in. I'm just seeing super high level stuff on this, but I understand that people hate Joe Rogan. And also some people love Joe Rogan. I'm kind of personally, I'm just kind of like, I appreciate that he's been able to grow his podcast to literally the biggest thing on planet Earth right now from a viewership standpoint. I saw some stats that said he like trumps Fox News and CNN and MSNBC and pretty much every major outlet combined with his shows per episode. Something like 11 million people watch his content. That's like that is like major primetime network. Excuse me. Numbers. That's massive. 11 million people. That's crazy. So I understand why he's so polarizing, right? But apparently there's a group of doctors that said that there's some information on his podcast that was is misinformation. It's a beacon of misinformation. And I think the thing that is pretty amazing about that is obviously Joe Rogan's a human, right? He's not a robot. He's not a computer, and even computers are wrong sometimes. But humans are wrong at times in their life, and everybody is. And that's one of those things that I honestly don't even really know what the argument is about. But just from a super high level element of this, and I'm sure someone will be like, well, you got to know context is king, Craig. And I understand that as well. But on this, I'm choosing not to be a journalist and dig into this. I just know that the internet hates all sorts of people and things for whatever reason. We live in a time where if you get anything wrong, if you say something wrong, it wouldn't matter if you said it last week or 10 years ago, or in some cases 30, 40 years ago, people will find that and they'll use it against you. They'll even use things against you that you didn't say, right? So these doctors have come out and said, hey, we think that Joe Rogan needs to be edited, or there needs to be warnings in front of his podcast on Spotify. And I think that's honestly crazy, right? The reason being that Joe Rogan talks for a living. That's what he does. There are, when you talk for a living, there are things that you're going to get wrong. These doctors, I don't know who they are, right? But I'm going to guess somewhere along the lines, they got something wrong, right? Does that mean that in front, like if they ever had a misdiagnosis, or they had a patient die based off something that they prescribed to them, or they weren't successful in a surgery, when you go in to see that doctor, should there be a warning saying that, hey, this doctor got something wrong, right? Or when you go into Burger King and they got an order wrong, should there be, or your order may be incorrect, right? No, it comes down to the reputation of that Burger King, that doctor, that podcaster, right? Do people trust you based off of your takes, off your thoughts? And really, the idea of putting some sort of censorship in front of an episode, or saying you should be aware because things here, they may not, you may not like them, or he's been wrong, or they've been wrong, or this burger had extra lettuce one day, is pretty asinine, right? And that's scary stuff. It really is. So without getting too deep into that, that's something that was on my mind, and I would love to hear your thoughts on that. Whether you're a fan of Joe Rogan or not, for me, like I said, I'm a very, very, very casual listener of his stuff. I have downloaded Spotify to listen to some of his podcasts, because I do think he does a good job of just letting people speak. And I think that's part of the problem that people see in Joe Rogan, is that he just lets people speak, which I got to be honest, if we're talking about if there's issues based off of just letting people speak, that's where the real issue is. Moving on, shall we? Hey, really, like I said, a lot of great comments during just when I was talking about, just coming back and just talking about things. Joe said, hey, are you watching the NFL playoffs? Yes, I am, Joe. And it's Friday. It's before the playoffs start. So I thought I'd give you guys my first round picks of the NFL playoffs, because I am very intrigued by what's going to happen. So let's just go down the line. Las Vegas versus Cincinnati, Raiders versus the Bengals. I think the Bengals will take this. I think Las Vegas is actually a very good team, but for some reason I just feel like Cincinnati, they're kind of this chic pick right now, and they're a good team. And Joe Burrow is kind of really interesting to watch how this is kind of he's still a rookie. He hasn't played a whole lot of games, and he's very impressive. And I like his moxie and his swagger, and it's very cool to see Cincinnati Cincinnati, the Bengals of all things, being pretty successful. I think Bengals take it over I was going to say LA or Oakland, but no, it's Las Vegas with their crazy ass stadium. New England versus Buffalo. This is interesting. I actually looked at the weather for this, and it's going to be like 7 in Buffalo. I love cold weather football games where there's snow, or if it's just cold, you see the COVID spouting out of people's mouths, the breathing. I think that I want it. My heart says Buffalo is going to win this, and so does my gut. I think Buffalo will win this as well. I think New England is still a couple years away, but the fact that they're still a couple years away after losing the best quarterback in history is pretty amazing. And it says a lot about Bill Belichick, even though I hate Bill Belichick and his stupid hoodie sweatshirt. But I think Buffalo wins. Philly versus Tampa. I think Tampa just wipes the floor with Philly. I think Philly is a good, bad team, if that makes sense. They snuck into the playoffs or a 6 or 7 seed, whatever it may be. I think they're a good, bad team, if that makes sense. The NFL is filled with mediocre teams, and they're just a little bit better than mediocre. And that's what. And when you have half the league getting the playoffs, there's going to be some mediocre teams that make it. San Francisco versus Dallas. Okay, I've watched a lot of Cowboy games this year, and I think the Cowboys are amazing to watch at times, but they're also infuriating to watch. I think as Dak goes, the Cowboys go, and I think that goes, obviously goes to say with any quarterback-led team in the league that has any sort of marketable presence behind them or is a good quarterback. I think Dak is truly like a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type thing. He has looked amazing at times, and then there's times where it looks like me throwing the football out there, and that's pathetic. So I think that Dallas is incredibly talented, but just going based off, and I hate the idea of based off of the previous years. It doesn't matter what they did in the previous years, right? Because they have a new coaching staff, right? This is the second year that McCarthy's been here. Last year was kind of a wash year with COVID and all that stuff, and they're starting to see their potential. What are they, 13-5 this year, 13-4, something like that. Just a really, really good record, 12-5, whatever it is. They've won a lot of games for football season. But San Francisco, they're 7-2 in their last 9, and they're winning games that, like last week where they came back against the Rams. They just got this they're kind of shiny right now, and I feel like they're kind of peaking, and they're doing a really good job. I think that this is going to be an extremely competitive game that's going to come down to a field goal kick. And I think ultimately one of two things are going to happen. I think either San Francisco is going to kick a field goal to win the game, or Dallas is going to kick a field goal and lose the game, because I do not trust the Cowboys kicker. I do not trust Greg Zuerlein. He misses extra points. Your field goal kicker should not miss extra points. So I think that, man, do you want to talk? My heart says the Cowboys are going to win this just on paper, but my gut says that it's going to be heartbreak again, and San Francisco moves on. Pittsburgh versus Kansas City. I think Ben Roethlisberger's right. I think that Pittsburgh has no chance of winning this game, and I think that Kansas City is going to decimate them. And the fact that Pittsburgh's in the playoffs is just a cherry on the cake for Pittsburgh. They should be exuberant that they're in the playoffs. And they get their bonus checks, and then they go on vacation because Kansas City is going to wipe the floor with them. And Arizona versus Los Angeles, the Cardinals versus the Rams. I think Arizona is a really good team. I think they had their little hiccup where they lost a couple games towards the tail end of the season, but I think they're back on track, and I think Arizona is going to regain that shine as they move on in. So I think Arizona takes it on Monday night against the Rams. So there you go. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think is going to happen this weekend in the NFL playoffs. I know that there's a lot of people from the other side of the ocean and across the world that tune in and have no idea what I just said. But either way, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a great day. Remember, people are going to try to bring you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. I'll see you guys when I see you. Whenever that is, I have no idea. Maybe it'll be sometime next week when we can talk about the NFL playoffs or whatever. But in the meantime, thumbs up and all that stuff. And if you like whatever, just have a good day. Shut up, Craig. I'm good at this.